What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of album number 13 by the legendary band U2. Rock, anthemic rock, arena rock. They are just a massive band that have such a huge fan base. They're essentially a legacy act at this point that are actually still making new music. This new album, Songs of Experience, is the follow-up to 2014's album that you just couldn't get off of your iTunes or iPhone. It was Songs of Innocence. And Songs of Innocence and Experience is actually based on the poetry of William Blake, titled by the same name. Now, roughly 3 years later, we have Songs of Experience, and there just isn't a ton that's special about this album whatsoever. If you like run-of-the-mill, adult contemporary, AC pop, pop rock, a little bit of rock, and just some stuff that feels a little bit too overproduced for Bono and the gang, then this might be right up your alley. If you're just looking for something to just mellow out to listen to, you want a little bit of politics, but for the most part you want to turn that off and just focus on the music or something uplifting, then sure. Are these songs underwritten? Perhaps in places, yes, but some of the opening moments I actually find to be kind of sweet. I enjoy them. Lights of Home is really well done. I like the chorus and the instrumentation there. The guitars are really cool. It kind of has a snappy feel to it. Even in the opening moment, Love Is All We Have Left, I kind of don't mind the auto-tune there. And while it's definitely not something in their normal ballpark, I think that it's one of the changes here, one of the poppy changes that I don't really mind so much. I was actually kind of excited for this album after hearing a couple of songs before this album's release, obviously one of those being You're the Best Thing About Me, which is still kind of a heartfelt, playful tune. I gave it a track review, I gave it a positive review there, and it still resonates with me. I think this is a good song that sees Bono and the rest of the band actually taking on a kindred spirit with an uplifting feel and actually kind of embracing it. It doesn't seem like they're being disingenuous here, and I'm totally on board for something like that. The other song that I heard wasn't actually a studio version, but it was the live version that they premiered on Facebook of the Blackout, and it sounded great. It sounded like a rollicking, rocking tune that definitely packed a punch. And then I hit play on this album, and I get to that track near the end of this record for the very first time, and I'm sitting there in exasperation because it's like the production from Jackknife Lee, from Ryan Tedder on so many of these songs sucked the life right out of it, and this is probably the biggest victim overall. I feel like this could have been a great song, and it has moments, but it just doesn't feel like it has the weight that it needs to actually make something go off on your mind, and you're like, this is the song that I'm gonna keep coming back to for years to come, like other U2 material. Summer of Love is painstakingly boring. This song just doesn't have any kind of redeeming quality to it for me because its biggest offense is the fact that it is so forgettable. It's so bland and tasteless that you just want to get it over with. It's like getting your throat swabbed at the doctor. You know you have to do it, but do you really want to? Just when we found out we don't have strep throat, we get to Red Flag Day, which features some of the worst vocals I've heard from Bono in quite a while. This is a song where it feels like the band is just kind of playing on cruise control. I mean, the bass, the guitar, it's all okay. The drums from Larry Mullen Jr., fine. They're there. They're doing their thing, I suppose. But once we actually hit the chorus of this song, where I felt like maybe things were going to take off, they just kind of tip over and fall flat instead. And the vocals, I would actually say, kind of fall into the annoying category. There's plenty of mediocrity that actually leads to some okay tunes on this record. Landlady, I suppose, at its core is trying to be something that's a bit sentimental, a bit uplifting, saying that this girl or this woman is the one that picks up the rent or whatever it is whenever something is due, and whenever he didn't have the money to pay the bills. I guess this was a long reflection ago because God knows U2 have had money for over 30 years now, but it's an okay song at its core. Then we get to some of the slower, more heartfelt closing moments like Love Is Bigger Than Anything in Its Way, which I could see as being kind of a part 2 to Get Out of Your Own Way, which is a very solid tune on this album. I do like that one. It has a good enough message to it, and it's kind of sunshiny, catchy without being like too over the top, like I can tell you're really, really trying, but its second part, perhaps not truly connected, but Love Is Bigger Than Anything in Its Way, just feels bloated. It feels kind of excessive and very much cheesy, unfortunately. And then right after that, we get the closer to the standard edition, which is 13 parentheses, There Is a Light. And that one just puts it on total snooze control for me. I'm gone. Believe it or not, I do have several songs that I want to praise, and they actually come back to back, surprisingly. The Showman, Little More Better, that one definitely reminds me of older styles of music, and it just feels a bit more carefree. Not careless, not just risque, throwing it all away. It's something where I feel like it's just kind of carefree. It's down to earth, and I like a good tune like this. It has a spirited guitar performance to it, and it's very much enjoyable. Then right after that, we get a very solid song. I have to commend The Edge for the guitar work on this track, The Little Things That Give You Away. The Little Things That Give You Away is definitely one of the best songs here, if not the best, just because it does the best job of just playing off of the band's chemistry. I can't help but feeling a little bit like, I throw my hands up in the air because I don't know what to do and I don't know what exactly to say, because this is one of those albums that it's surface level, it's okay, it's fun, but the problem is also that it is surface level. It's there. It's not really trying to take you too deep, and it's not coming up for air that often. It's like laying face down in a pool, yet you can have a snorkel on and still breathe. Oh, and random note, did you happen to notice that on the track American Dream, which yes, does feature Kendrick Lamar, pretty cool to see him teaming up with U2 again. I'm sure this was done at the exact same time that they recorded for Damn. They did this song Triple X together, which I thought was pretty cool. I liked Bono's addition to that track, and here, Kendrick definitely adds a little bit of poetry, a little bit of spoken word to open this, a little bit of drumming in the background. Sounds cool enough. But once this song gets going, did you happen to notice that once we get to parts like, am I listening to Switchfoot? A lot of fans will flock to this album simply for the fact that it is U2, and if you like U2, this will probably at least somewhat please you. But if you're more of a music fan that is casually into U2, you really appreciate and respect some of their records like War, Joshua Tree, then this probably isn't for you. They've been declining in popularity over the past 10 to 15 years, ever since, obviously, their smash 2004 album, How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb, came out. They had a big hit, Vertigo, on there, and ever since the whole iPod commercial, it's just kind of been a little bit downhill. No Line on the Horizon was a total misfire of an album, despite a few good songs, at least in my opinion, and since then, it's just been a little bit rough in U2's catalog. Despite some good singles, despite some good deep cuts, it's just too varied for me. And despite mostly enjoying their last album's Songs of Innocence, I have to say that retrospectively, I would have rated it lower, and I don't think that it merits replays. It's not something that I ever really see myself coming back to, despite actually enjoying a few songs like Cedarwood Road. This is all just my opinion though, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. For me personally, I really can't go higher than a 2.5 out of 5 for the new U2 record, Songs of Experience. If you're able to support me on Patreon, it really helps videos like this keep coming. It's the annotation in the corner or else the top link down below. If you would like to see another U2 review, you can tap right over here, or another recent video I did on the channel right over here. All of my social medias are linked in the description down below, most active on Twitter. Other than that, I'll see you very soon right here for year-end list season. Yes!